The vibration of my phone pulls me out of my half-conscious state. It's been a long day of meetings, and I've finally collapsed into the too-soft hotel bed. I squint at the screen. It's an alert from the fitness tracker app. Normally I wouldn't care. Both Kia and I had gotten into the habit of tracking our steps and activity more out of competitive fun than anything else. We'd sync up our accounts, trash, talk each other when one of us got lazy, and laugh about it over dinner. But this notification is different. It's nearly midnight, and according to the app, Kira's been moving a lot. Odd, I mutter, staring at the little graph that shows a spike in her activity. Not just walking. This looks like full-on cardio. I scroll through the data with a mix of curiosity and unease. Her late-night movement pattern has been consistent for the past few days, long bursts of intense activity, always around the same time. It's strange. Kia is not a night owl, and we usually work out together in the mornings. My stomach tightens with the familiar stirrings of suspicion. I text her, "What are you up to?" I watch. The 3 dots appear, then they disappear, then appear again. Finally, a response. "Just couldn't sleep, so I'm doing a quick workout." "Don't worry about it." Her words sit heavy in my chest. She's never been one to exercise at night. In fact, she hates it. The unease grows. I glance at the clock. Midnight. My gut tells me something's off, but my brain tries to play it down. Still, I can't shake the feeling. Kira has always been honest. At least that's what I thought. I sit up in bed, scrolling back through the week. The pattern is unmistakable. 5 nights in a row, same time, same level of intensity. The hotel room suddenly feels colder. Without thinking, I open my laptop, book an early flight home, and pack my bags. The business trip can wait. Something is going on, and I need to figure out what. I arrive back in our town earlier than planned. It's nearly 2 a.m. when I step off the plane. And by the time I reach our neighborhood, it's almost 3. The streets are dead. Quiet. A soft drizzle dampens my clothes as I make my way to our house on foot. Not wanting to draw attention by calling a cab, my heart pounds in rhythm with my steps. Every footfall echoes with the weight of suspicion. I fumble with the house keys, my fingers slick with sweat and rain. The door opens without a sound. The lights are off, but I don't need them. I know this house like the back of my hand. As I slip inside, I hear something faint from upstairs. An almost rhythmic creaking, muffled but unmistakable. I freeze at the base of the stairs, listening. My stomach drops as I recognize the sounds. It's coming from our bedroom. For a moment I stand there, the air heavy with betrayal. Every fiber of my being wants to turn and leave to pretend that whatever is happening up there isn't real. But I can't. I need to see it. I need to know quietly. I take each step with deliberate care. My shoes wet against the wooden stairs. I reach the top, the creaking louder. Now my heart pounds in my ears. I step toward the half-closed bedroom door, my hand trembling as I push it open. And there she is, Kira. Half-nay, straddling our couch. No, not our couch, our coach. A strangled gasp escapes my throat. Kira's head snaps toward me, her eyes wide with horror. The man beneath her, our fitness coach Mark, looks just as shocked. His hands freeze on her hips, their tangled forms suddenly grotesque in the dim light of the room. Dylan. Kira's voice breaks, her eyes pleading, but I can't hear her. My blood roars in my ears, drowning out everything but the overwhelming sense of betrayal and disgust. The room spins my vision, narrowing to a pinpoint focus on the 2 of them still frozen in their betrayal. "Get out." I say, my voice barely above a whisper. But there's no mistaking the threat laced in my words. "Both of you now." They scramble. Kira, grabbing for her clothes, Mark backing away like the coward he is. As they leave, I stand motionless, numb with disbelief. The door slams behind them, leaving me alone in the room. Our room. I sit on the edge of the bed, the place where we shared everything: love, laughter, trust. But it's all a lie now. I can't stop the replay of what I just saw from looping in my mind. Kira's betrayal, the physical reality of it, so raw, so real. I feel sick. But as the night wears on, something hardens inside me. Anger replaces the shock. betrayal sharpens into a singular clear thought. Revenge. She destroyed everything we had, and she deserves to pay for it. I open my phone and scroll back through the messages Kira had sent me throughout the week. Her lies now as clear as day. I tap on her profile in the fitness app, studying her late-night activity with newfound clarity. She thought she could hide this from me. She thought I wouldn't notice, but the numbers don't lie, and now I know exactly how to make her regret every single one of them. The next day I sit in the lawyer's office, papers spread across the table. I have no intention of dragging this out. I want it over quickly. I want her to suffer in silence, no confrontation, no shouting matches, just the cold, hard reality that she's lost me for good. As I sign the divorce papers, a twisted sense of satisfaction washes over me. This is just the beginning. She's going to lose more than just me. I'll make sure of it. But for now, the silence of this office is enough. Soon she'll know what it feels like to have everything taken away. I leave the lawyer's office with a manila envelope in hand, the divorce papers neatly tucked inside. Every step I take feels heavier, like I'm sinking deeper into something I can't escape. The satisfaction I'd felt earlier is already waning, replaced by gnawing emptiness, but I push it down. Now's not the time to feel. Now's the time to act. I shove the envelope into the passenger seat of my car and sit behind the wheel, staring at my phone. It's 9:30 a.m. Kira will still be at home, probably trying to act normal after last night. She hasn't texted me since I kicked her and Mark out. Part of me hopes she'll try to explain, to beg for forgiveness, but a bigger part of me hoped she won't. I don't want to hear her excuses. I don't want her to twist this into something I could somehow understand. I turn the key. The engine hums to life and I pull out of the parking lot. But instead of heading home, I drive to the gym. Mark works the morning shift, running personal training sessions and pretending he's some sort of life coach. I grip the steering wheel harder, knuckles turning white. When I pull into the gym parking lot, I spot his car, a shiny black Mustang that looks too expensive for what a fitness coach should be able to afford. Another crack in the facade. My chest tightens with a mix of rage and anticipation. I slam the car door shut and march into the building, adrenaline fueling my every step. The moment I step inside, I spot him. He's talking to a client by the weight racks, laughing like nothing happened, like I didn't just catch him screwing my wife. Mark. My voice is sharp, cutting through the noise of clanging weights and treadmills. He turns, his face palling as soon as he sees me for a second. He looks like a deer caught in headlights, but then his expression shifts. He puts on a mask of indifference, maybe thinking he can bluff his way out of this. Dylan, man, listen, don't you dare. I'm close enough now that I can feel the heat radiating off my own anger. People are starting to notice, heads turning in our direction. You don't get to explain, you don't get to smooth this over. You ruined everything, and now you're going to pay. Mark's eyes dart around the room, probably calculating whether he should make a scene or walk away quietly. I can see the sweat forming at his temples. He takes a step back, raising his hands in a pathetic attempt to calm me down. Look, it was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen. It got out of hand. His voice is low, pleading, but it only makes me angrier. I take a step closer, narrowing the space between us. Out of hand. You think this is something that just got out of hand? You slept with my wife, Mark. Repeatedly while I was gone, while I trusted you to be professional. The gym is dead. Quiet now. Even the hum of the treadmills has stopped. As everyone watches the confrontation unfold, Mark stumbles over his words, his hands still up in some ridiculous attempt to de-escalate. Dylan, come on. I didn't mean for this to happen. We're both adults here. Let's talk about this like grown men. I don't even give him the courtesy of a reply. My fist connects with his jaw before I realize what I'm doing. There's a sickening crack, and Mark goes down, clutching his face. As blood trickles from his mouth, the gym staff rushes over, someone shouting for security, but I'm already walking away. I don't need to be here any longer. My message is clear when I get back home. The house feels suffocating, filled with memories that suddenly feel tainted. Kira's car is still in the driveway, but I don't see her through the front windows. I step inside, and for a moment everything is eerily quiet. Then I hear her upstairs, moving around in our bedroom. I climb the stairs slowly, each step heavy with the weight of what's coming. When I reach the door, I push it open without knocking. Kira sitting on the edge of the bed, fully dressed. This time her face puffy from crying for a split second. I almost feel sorry for her. Almost Dylan, please. She starts her voice, hoarses. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but I still love you. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can work through it. I stand there, arms crossed, staring at the woman. I thought I knew the woman who just last night was naked with another man in the very room we shared. Her words wash over me, but they feel hollow, meaningless. Fix this, I repeat, my voice colder than I intended. You really think there's anything left to fix? You've destroyed everything. There's no coming back from this. Kira's eyes well up with fresh tears, but I don't care. I can't care, not anymore. I'm filing for divorce. I say, my voice steady, and I've already started making sure you'll regret every second of what you've done. Her eyes widen, panic flickering behind the tears. Dylan. No, please don't do this. I know I screwed up, but we can get past it. You don't have to throw everything away. I shake my head, stepping closer, towering over her. You threw everything away the second you started sneaking around with him, and now you're going to pay for it. I've already talked to a lawyer. This divorce is going to happen fast, and it's not going to be in your favor. She pinches her shoulders, shaking as she breaks down into sobs for a moment. The sound of her crying stirs something in me, some distant, buried sense of sympathy. But I push it down. She's not the victim here. She made her choice, and now she's going to face the consequences. I turn to leave, but then I stop in the doorway and look back at her broken figure huddled on the edge of the bed. By the way, you might want to check your gym membership. I don't think Mark's going to be around much longer. Her head snaps up, confusion flashing across her tear-streaked face. But I don't explain, let her figure it out on her own. I walk out of the bedroom, out of the house, and don't look back. She's not worth the regret. And as far as I'm concerned, this is only the beginning. Later that day, I sit in front of my laptop. A new plan forming. The divorce will hurt, but it won't be enough. I need her to feel the same level of betrayal, the same crushing weight of loss. I start making phone calls, her friends, her family, anyone who matters to her. Slowly, methodically, I plant the seeds of doubt, letting them know what she's done. I don't have to lie. The truth is damaging enough. By the time the day ends, I've set everything in motion. Kira thinks the worst is over, but she has no idea. She's about to lose everything. The cold bite of the morning air feels sharper than usual as I step outside. It's been 3 days since I last saw Kira, 3 days since I walked out of our home and decided to burn it all down. The divorce process is already in motion, but that's just paperwork. The real fallout begins. Now I pull out my phone, scrolling through my messages. Most of them are from her texts. Voicemails, all desperate attempts to reach me. Apologies, explanations, pleas for forgiveness. I haven't responded to a single one. I don't intend to. What Kira doesn't know is that I've been making my own calls. I've spoken to her parents, her sister, even a few of our mutual friends. They all know about the affair now, and based on the cold, clipped responses I got from some of them, it's clear Kira going to have some uncomfortable conversation soon if she hasn't already. I get into the car and head to the house. It's not really home anymore, just a structure full of memories. I want to burn to the ground, but I'm not going there to talk. I'm going to pick up a few things and lay the next brick in my plan. When I arrive, I see her car in the driveway and a strange feeling, knots in my stomach. I pause for a second before walking up the porch steps, slipping the key into the lock. The door swings open, and I'm hit with the faint smell of lavender, her favorite, but it does nothing to soothe the tension brewing inside me. As I step into the living room, I hear movement upstairs. She's here. A part of me hoped she wouldn't be. Maybe that would have made it easier. I close the door softly and take a deep breath before heading up the stairs. Kira is sitting at the foot of the bed, her back to me. She's wearing an old sweatshirt, one that I used to love on her, but now it just looks worn out and sad. Her hair is tied up in a messy bun, and her phone is clutched tightly in her hands, as though she's waiting for some lifeline. When she hears my footsteps, she turns slowly, eyes red from crying. "Dylan," she breathes, her voice trembling. "We need to talk. Please, can we just talk for a second?" I stand there for a moment, arms crossed, not moving. "Any closer, talk. Now you want to talk." She winces at the coldness in my tone. I know I messed up. She begins her words spilling out in a rush. "I know what I did was unforgivable, but you're not even giving me a chance to explain. We can fix this. Dylan, we can go to therapy. We can fix this." I interrupt a sharp laugh, escaping me. "There's nothing left to fix, Kira. You slept with him multiple times. Do you honestly think we can come back from that? Do you think I can ever look at you the same way again?" Her lips tremble as she stands up, her eyes pleading, "I didn't want to hurt you. Dylan, I never meant for it to go this far. Mark, he meant nothing. It was a mistake. A huge mistake, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. But we can get past this. I love you." I take a step closer, my voice dropping to a low, dangerous tone. "Love you, love me. You have a funny way of showing it. Kira, you made your choice, and now I'm making mine." She blinks confusion, flashing across her face. "What do you mean?" I reach into my jacket pocket and pull out the envelope. I toss it onto the bed between us. "That's what I mean. Divorce papers. We're done." Her face crumpled as she stares at the envelope, her fingers trembling as she picks it up. "Divorce. Dylan. No, please, we don't have to do this. We can work through this. People come back from worse. Maybe some people do." I say coldly, "But I'm not one of them. You destroyed our marriage, Kira. You destroyed my trust, and now you're going to face the consequences." She takes a shaky breath, clutching the envelope as though it's a lifeline she's desperate to hold on to. "What are you saying?" "What consequences?" I don't answer right away. Instead, I take a step back and watch as the realization slowly dawns on her. She's already lost me, but she doesn't know the full extent of what she's about to lose. Not yet. I've already started spreading the word. "Kira," I say, my voice steady and unyielding. "Your parents know your sister are friends?" I didn't have to say much. I just told them the truth, and judging by the calls I've been getting, they're not exactly thrilled with you right now. Her eyes widen, horror creeping across her face. You told them?" "Of course I told them," I snap, my voice rising with anger. "They deserve to know what kind of person you are, just like I deserve to know what you were doing behind my back." Kira's legs buckle, and she collapses onto the bed, clutching her head in her hands. "Dylan, please don't do this. Don't ruin everything. We can still make this right. I'll do anything to make it up to you for a moment." I almost feel a flicker of pity, but it's fleeting. She doesn't deserve pity. She deserves to feel the same gut-wrenching pain she's caused me. "You already ruined everything," I say, my voice cold and detached. "I'm just speeding up the process. You'll be out of here by the end of the week, and trust me, that's the least of what's coming." I turn to leave, but she lunges toward me, grabbing my arm in a last desperate attempt to stop me. "Please, Dylan, don't leave like this. I'll change. I'll be better. I'll make it right. Just give me one more chance." I shake her off, taking a step back. "No, Kira, you had your chance and you blew it. Now you're on your own." Her sobs follow me as I walk down the stairs, her voice growing more frantic with every step I take. But I keep walking out the door into the crisp morning air that feels somehow cleaner. Now I drive away, my hands gripping the steering wheel tighter than necessary. There's a hollow feeling in my chest, one that I know won't go away anytime soon. But it's better than the anger, better than the betrayal. At least this way I have control. My phone vibrates in the cup holder and I glance down at it. It's a text from her sister Lisa. "I can't believe Kia did this. I'm so sorry. Dylan, if you need anything, We're here for you. I smirk. Lisa was always one to take sides quickly. She's a piece of the puzzle. I can use another step in, making sure Kia's life unravels as completely as mine did. I text back, thanking her for her support, and slip the phone into my pocket. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. Kira might think the worst has passed, but she's wrong. There's more to come, more that I've set in motion that she hasn't even begun to feel the effects of. As I pull into a coffee shop parking lot, I sit in the car for a moment, staring at the divorce papers, still sitting on the passenger seat. The finality of it all is settling in. But there's a grim satisfaction in knowing that this is just the beginning. Kira doesn't realize it yet, but she's going to lose everything. The house, her reputation, her friends, everything, and I'll be there watching it all fall apart, just like she watched our marriage crumble behind my back. I take a deep breath, exhale slowly, and step out of the car, time to set the next part of the plan in motion. The room feels smaller now, the walls closing in as I sit at the kitchen table, my fingers drumming against the wood, eyes fixed on my phone. It's been 2 weeks since I handed Kira those divorce papers. 2 weeks since I set everything into motion. I'd thought the satisfaction of watching her life unravel would make me feel whole again. But instead, it's only deepened the pit in my stomach. A message pops up on the screen. It's from Lisa. I think you should come over. Kia not doing well. I don't respond immediately. Lisa's been my ally in all of this, keeping me informed on how Kia's handling things, or more accurately, how she's falling apart. I knew this moment would come. It's what I wanted, after all, to break her the way she broke me. But now that it's here, a part of me wonders if I've gone too far. No, this is what she deserves. I grab my keys and head out the door, the cold night air biting at my skin as I step into the car. The drive to Kira's temporary apartment is short, but it feels like ours. My mind races with thoughts of everything. I've done everything I'm about to finish. When I arrive, I see Lisa standing outside, passing nervously. She spots me and waves me over, her expression tight with worry. Dylan. I don't know what to do, she says, her voice low, glancing back at the apartment door. She's not herself anymore. She's barely eating, barely sleeping. I'm worried she's going to do something drastic. I shrugged, feeling the cold detachment settle in my bones again. She made her choices, Lisa. She'll have to live with them. Lisa grabs my arm, her eyes pleading. Please, Dylan. I know she hurt you, but this isn't right. You've already taken so much from her. Just talk to her. Maybe you can help her understand. Help her understand. The thought is almost laughable. But there's something in Lisa's desperation that tugs at me. Maybe it's time to end this. Maybe it's time to face Kia one last time and let her see just how much damage she's done. I now and head inside, Lisa following close behind. The apartment is dark, save for the dim glow of a lamp in the corner. Kira is sitting on the couch, staring blankly at the floor. She looks worse than I expected. Her hair tangled, her eyes hollow, dark circles under them, like she hasn't slept in days. She doesn't even look up when I walk in. Kira, I say, my voice flat, offering no comfort. She flinches at the sound of my voice but doesn't respond. I sit across from her, watching her closely. There's no fight left in her. It's like I've already won, but it feels empty. This is what happens when you betray people. I continue, my words deliberate. You lose everything. You don't just get to walk away enswathed. Her eyes flicker up to meet mine. And for the first time I see something behind the pain, something darker, more dangerous. You think I haven't suffered enough? She whispers, her voice hoarse. You've taken my life. Dylan, everything I've ever loved, you've destroyed. And for what? Revenge. You did this to yourself. I reply coldly. You cheated, you lied, you broke us. Kira, you shattered everything we had. She stands abruptly, her movements jerky, unsteady. I know I messed up. I know I deserve some of this. But you didn't just leave me. You made sure I had nothing left. My friends won't even speak to me. My own family looks at me like I'm a stranger. Do you know how that feels to be utterly alone? It's what you deserve, I say, standing to face her. You destroyed my trust, my faith in you. Now you're paying for it. Her expression twists with rage and she steps closer, jabbing her finger into my chest. You think you're so righteous. Dylan, you think you're the only one who got hurt. You were never there. You were always gone, always focused on work on yourself. I was alone in this marriage long before Mark ever came into the picture. Her words hit harder than I expect, and for a moment I falter. But I can't let her twist this "don't blame me for your mistakes." I growl. You could have talked to me. You could have told me how you felt, instead of screwing him behind my back. Kira lets out a bitter laugh, her eyes gleaming with something close to madness. I tried, Dylan. I tried to reach you, but you were already gone. Maybe if you'd been around, things would have been different. The room grows tense, the air thick with unresolved pain. But I'm not here to heal. I'm here to finish what I started. It's too late for that. I say, my voice hard again. We're done. And now you'll live with the consequences. Kira's face twists with rage, and before I can react, she grabs a vase from the coffee table and hurls it at the wall. It shatters into 1,000 pieces, the sound echoing through the small apartment. You think you're so much better than me, she screams, her voice cracking. You think you're the victim. You're just as broken as I am. I stare at the shards of glass scattered across the floor, the weight of her words settling in. Maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am just as broken. But I refuse to let her have the final word. I'm done with this, I say, turning toward the door. You're on your own now. Don't expect me to pick up the pieces as I reach for the doorknob. I hear her behind me, her voice low and venomous. You're not as innocent as you think. Dylan. There are things you don't know, things that'll eat you alive. I pause, my hand frozen on the doorknob. What are you talking about? Kira steps closer, her eyes dark and wild. Mark wasn't the only one. Dylan, he wasn't even the first. Her words cut through me like a blade. For a moment I can't breathe. What? What are you saying? She smiles, a cold, empty smile. You think I was waiting around for you, hoping you'd finally notice me? No. I found my comfort elsewhere, long before Mark. You were too blind to see it. I feel the ground shift beneath me, the world tilting on its axis. Who? I whisper, my voice barely audible. Does it matter? She sneers. You wanted to destroy me, fine. But now you'll have to live with the truth. You were never enough, Dylan, and you never will be. I stagger back, the weight of her confession crashing down on me. Everything I thought I knew, everything I believed, gone in an instant, for the first time. I'm the one who's shattered. I walk out of the apartment numb, the cold night air stinging my face. My phone buzzes in my pocket, but I don't check it. It's all meaningless now. Kira's words echo in my mind, a poison that I can't shake. I've spent weeks tearing her life apart, thinking I was the one in control. But in the end, it was all for nothing. She'd already destroyed me long before I even knew it. As I drive away, the streetlights blur together and I realize the truth. There's no revenge that can fix this. No punishment that will make me whole again. We're both broken and there's no going back. Kira and I are done forever, and the hatred, the betrayal, it'll haunt us both. But the worst part, I think I'll miss her.